This is my deck 33 West. A lot of people have been talking about it. Well, so this is my deck 33 West. I've been posting about it a lot. I've been having a lot of success. Wanted to make a quick intro video. It's going to be pretty short. Play a couple games, talk about the deck. But it's really a very flexible deck. The value you get out of the deck is that it is a control deck that combo finishes. So with Silver Surfer, Cerebro, Absorbing Man, you have the ability to generate a lot of power kind of out of nowhere. You typically are deploying into all three lanes to some extent, because your opponent is not able to determine what lane they should commit to. So you can only kick them off their feet and have them split their focus. The only change in the deck that I still want to make is Sentinel's been really solid, but I want Mystique. Because I like Mystique's ability to copy Cosmo, but most importantly, copy Cerebro, his alternate win cons. And while Sentinel's been solid, I don't really want to be choosing to play 2-drops very often. It will make turn 5 less efficient, because normally turn 5 you have a Sentinel, you get to play 2 cards, which is great. But Sentinel's alone power, if you have Surfer and Cerebro, is kind of muted a little bit. So I think that's just the most logical cut. You also have Brood for all the different Silver Surfer synergies, Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man, I've copied literally every unrevealed card. I've copied Killmonger before because I Killmongered too early. Or somebody had a hood out, so I Killmongered, knowing the next turn they would play the demon, and then I Absorbing Man copied the Killmonger. Absorbing Man copies Rhino to blow up the flooded area from Storm, because that takes away the clock on it. Also blow up magic on turn 6 a lot. I do Rhino on Limbo a lot, because your opponent's waiting for that final turn. Juggernaut, really solid at like kicking somebody to Fisk Tower, or being able to just really break up somebody's combo. So traditionally, if somebody plays a Wong, the next turn you typically want to try to have priority. Food's on the way. You typically want to try to have priority, but what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to like interrupt their combos. So Juggernaut, Cosmo, sometimes Armor, but really the Juggernaut and Cosmo are 2 cards you want to respond to a Wong with if you have priority, so you can break whatever the next follow-up is, often White Tiger. And so Absorbing Man gives you the additional Juggernaut trigger. I've used Absorbing Man to copy Brood when I didn't have Cerebro, and so but I also wasn't ahead in any of the lanes enough, so I made 2 extra Broodlings with the Absorbing Man that got 3 power, and then Silver Surfer was great. So you have a couple of those options. Captain America, Captain America, once I get Mystique, might come back out of the deck, and it could be Sentinel stays, Captain America comes out. Because Captain America, you want to pair with Brood, so that way your Broodlings are all 3 power, so everything's got symmetry. So Cerebro and Silver Surfer pumps all of your 3 drops versus skipping the Broods off Cerebro. Or you pair it with like your 2-drop 3s or any random thing the board gives you. But it's definitely one that you want to play a lot less often. You want to play when you know what the outcome of the game is going to be with it there. You don't want to play like turn 3. You want to save that one. So the deck has really got a bunch of different lines, but you're always adjusting to what your opponent does. So we're going to just kind of jump in and play a couple games real quick. Try to talk through some of the lines. This hand's average. Got a little bit better. We got our win con, or one of our win cons. Unfortunately, Cerebro, Absorbing Man don't combo, obviously, but we have a lot of good interaction. These 3 drops all represent the ability to just win a game on a turn if you play them correctly. Juggernaut being the hardest one, obviously. You have to determine the lane they're going to go in. Alright, so we've got a move deck. Munster Island is actually one of the worst locations for us. Because you can't... Your Cerebro gets thrown off by Munster Island. Unless we double Surfer, it's not going to work. Now, if we double Surfer, all of our 3s and Munster increase. But still not ideal. Luckily, their Iron Fist was kind of meh. Okay, so we did get our Silver Surfer. So we want a Silver Surfer on turn 5. Normally I would Rhino X-Mansion here, because I don't want to get something randomly with a higher power that throws off my Cerebro map. But because we already have Monster, I don't need to do that. So Rhino is normally stopping anything that gives extra power. That only allows you to have 1 card there. that has some big negative effect, or that your opponent's already committed to, and you can use it like at the end of the game to throw them off. Um, I want to leave a place open for brood, so I'm going to just play a jug here. No, because if they're going to go Heimdall, they're not going to go there. So we're going to go in the middle, Monster Island. Look at that. I'm an athlete. Oh, but that's unfortunate because I'm going to give them a free multiple man. That's kind of dumb. So we'll drop the old. Wait a minute. But we'll see what happens. This is still a very winnable game. Cool. 3-power Taskmaster. That's impactful. Opponents do love to snap at these points. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. All right, so I know I need a Silver Surfer next turn and Absorbing Man the turn after that, which means I cannot play everything else. Because I know I'm going to go Silver Surfer, Absorbing Man, 3-drop, which is Juggernaut, is going to be big enough to be tied with Monster for Cerebro's bonus, but that's the only card that will, which is doubling in that zone. So instead of doing that, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage in the left lane. Not advantage, but I'm going to be in striking distance in the left lane by playing Killmonger there. Perfect. We don't want it to connect with multiple man because then they can create, X number of replacements of Hulkbuster every time they move multiple man. We do really want to watch out for Heimdall. The move deck is a little bit harder for us because a lot of our control cards just really don't control what they're trying to do. We're built a lot more in another direction. So I'm actually going to throw my 0-drop Silver Surfer over on the left lane. I'm now going to take the lead of the left lane, but I'm not going to overcommit because I don't want Heimdall to move the monster and multiple man over because there's just no way I win that. Also worth noting, Warpath, if they Heimdall in the middle lane, then the Warpath, when it multiple man move to the right, or to the left, Warpath will now get +4 because they'll have abandoned X-Mansion. Which means I don't need to commit much more to X-Mansion because it's likely that I win that one by default. Well, let's see. Oh, well, this is actually quite good. Okay. So they broadcast a lot of their movement to us. There's not a lot of other space for them to move around, which is their advantage, is our ability to play around their final score. So this is a pretty big win for us. So we've already triggered Silver Surfer. Since Surfer was the last card... Oh, wait, did we flip Sentinel second? We did. So the problem with it is, like, you want Silver Surfer to flip last, because Sentinel is now going to be what Absorbing Man copies. And they have priority for the flip. We're going to go and retreat it, because that was a misplay. Yeah, so right there, I needed to play Sentinel and then Surfer, which would have allowed me to go Absorbing Man and then Sentinel as well, or Absorbing Man and Armor, which would allow me to threaten in the second and third lane. So, lesson learned. Some of the best lessons you learn is when you take an L. Probably going to play like 3 or 4 quick games. It's a little cold outside. And I'm going to head inside. And we'll post these to like YouTube or Google Drive or something and just shit on it. I don't really know. It's not like I track any systems. Too old to stream. I might stream this every once in a while. I need to figure out how to make an overlay. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, you definitely have like 80% of your screen just these big black bars. This is an awkward position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bank on my opponent not having Shang-Chi. If they don't have Shang-Chi, I'm going to go Sentinel and Brood and Gamma Lab. Give myself 4 Hulks. And then I'm going to Rhino kill him and hope that they make a move to kill him. Oh, well, that changes a little bit. No, because we don't have time. We don't want to lose Gamma Lab. We don't have a Shang-Chi around. Shang-Chi. I don't know if I'm saying the name so poorly. All right. If they got the owner of the rings, then we're screwed. But we're going to play as if we aren't dead. So we're going to blow up Kiln because we're unlikely to take the lead on this turn of Kiln. They're probably going to play 4 or 5, maybe 6 power in that location. Oh, wow. Well, unfortunate. Ooh, that's incredibly unfortunate. Okay. So Cerebro is real lackluster right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Juggernaut and Sentinel. So what that's going to give us is that if they try to commit to take the flooding zone, we get to throw them off. So we're going to snap because this is now we're putting them in a turn where they're about to reveal pressure. Never mind. We just win. I need to be a little bit better at that. I should have snapped earlier once I won Gamma Lab, but it's whatever. So in that sequence, we would have just thrown them off on one. So the deck is very much, I'm going to play one more, then my hop off is getting a little cold. But the deck is very much like you don't have a combo win. You are playing like a hate bear deck that is like controlling, I mean, constricting a lot of the most powerful things you can do in Marvel Snap right now. But then you do the one of the other powerful things right there. Obviously, the mirror match is a point for it. Sometimes Cerebro makes it for us, and sometimes Cerebro doesn't help enough. So sometimes they have more three drops, and their server just goes nuts, or I get thrown off by a location like Stark Tower. But mirror match is normally not too bad. Mojo. So we know we have a Surfer plan. Ooh. Well, you know, cool thing about Clintar, because we are a Killmonger deck, if an opponent overcommits to that, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go Captain America here. The reason we want to do that is we normally lead Captain America because my opponent goes Green Goblin. I don't want to like have three brews in Green Goblin. Silver Surfer helps, but doesn't help enough. So I want to give myself that flexibility, and on the next turn, then I flip brew. But they're probably going to play on Stark Tower if they have Mojo as a turn one. Oh, interesting. No, Clintar. That's actually really good for us because if we were a Killmonger, whatever it is, we can mess up. Never mind. Oh, yeah, because the funny thing about Clintar, I had somebody do this earlier. They played Sunspot Armor. When Clintar merges on turn 4, you lose all that text. So you end up losing the armor. This is insane. So we have Absorbing Man. We snapped. Yeah, we've already snapped. We are like snapping times a million right now. We are incredibly favored because we're going to go Silver Surfer this turn. Notice our symbiote still also 3 power. So Cerebro still has its thing it can do. We're going to go Surfer on this lane. We're going to go Sentinel on this lane. Because they have a 1-drop 3 there, we want to leave our Killmonger option open. Because we can outpower that. We're willing to sacrifice our 3 to kill their 3 potentially. We could have also Rhinoed, but then we wouldn't have been all Absorbing Man. And that was kind of our win con. We are in a bit of a rough spot. So my opponent is reasonably confident, and understandably so, that they have Stark Tower. So then the question is, does Absorbing Man win me this game? Because we have priority, if we had Juggernaut, we could use that to win the game right here. Because we could play it in Clintar. Because we have priority, they wouldn't be all flipped there. And it's unlikely they would play anything large enough to replace New York. Yeah, we'll just go for the win. Oh, interesting. That was an interesting sequence by the opponent. And I think that gives us the win. Oh no, I did the mistake again. One of these days I'm gonna listen to myself. I won anyway.